Welcome to Miss Dragon's Menagerie. Everyone is welcome, everyone is accepted. The only requirement is that you are loving, kind, and respectful to one another. Bad behavior will not be tolerated.
Hello. Let's see. Can y'all hear me? Alrighty. Yes. Someone. Oh my goodness. Well, y'all gonna have to deal with me without any lipstick on. I knew I didn't get very far today, but I got a whole bunch of stuff done. Hey, Sue. Hey, Kristen. Seven. Paola. Oh, here's some lip gloss. Yeah, my nails are back. Yesterday, I got a comment that, hey, Sandy. I don't know if y'all can see it. They're color changing. So they kind of gold to yellow and then into the pink. So yeah. But I got a lot done this morning. So let's see what this does to me. Gives it some color. I never was in that what did they call it? The concealer lip craze. No. This gives some definite. Oh, good job. 4 bags. I still gotta. I got litter box clean. I got that done, and the floor vacuumed. So that was so far. So yes, so good for today. I still got a whole list of stuff I got to do, but yeah, just Paola, a little bit at a time. Do not overdo it, and rest when you need to. So, oh gosh, the concealer lip trend back in the 2000s, it was your lips were they put concealer on your lips and that's what they considered lipstick. Sometimes they'd put an outliner on it, maybe a brown pencil to around the outs. It was horrible. It was horrible. Awesome, Sue. Awesome. We have a food bank here. I haven't volunteered yet. That would require me to get up way too early. So, but it's only 2.5 blocks down the road. Not to mention there would be a small language barrier in my neck of the woods. I was sitting there, it's my glasses are on, trying to figure out this little pet bed. Because every time I come in here to take down the bed, the cat's on it. And it's just a little cot. It's only like 6 inches off the floor, so if she rolls off the bed, it ain't gonna hurt her. But the cat, all 18 pounds, thinks it's nice and easy on her joints to sleep on it. So it's a constant fight with nature, isn't it? I pulled a bunch of stuff out of the raised beds that I gotta till, but I'm letting it wilt before I just go and dump it into a garbage can. So that way I won't take up so much space right away in the garbage can. But the tiller is tiny, so it's not, it's not gonna be a big deal to run. I think it takes maybe 3 seconds at the most to till the little tiny garden beds, for one garden bed. That's what I looked at my backyard the other day. It was just there's still stuff. I got the beds cleaned out. I just got to clean out around them. So it's one step at a time, I guess. And then I go get after my live tomorrow. I go get my granddaughter from daycare, and then she stays the night. So then her and Nana can go to the big mountains, as she calls it. She calls the hills around here just the mountains. Oh no, I'm sorry. I remembered to plug mine into the Ethernet this time. Not had to stop and make everybody wait. Oh yeah, I can bend over. Well, it's partly because my body's so long and my legs are so short. But um, the squatting down, if I have to sit there and rest on my knees, the getting up is like trying to find something to grab so I can stand up again. Yeah. Well, Um, no, remember I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I always get a kick out of what people back east call mountains because I'm like, that's just a hill. Because I live at the 2,000 foot level though, but I'm out here with the sagebrush. Oh gosh, yeah, it's it's bad. It's yeah, I pretty much if it's too far, I have to almost roll to my side and then slowly get up. Yeah, and I'm gonna take the little one to go see a volcano Friday. And we're going to have to wear our snow boots, our coats, pack shorts, pack a short sleeve shirt because Packwood is 76, but Paradise will probably be full of snow and and probably I'm thinking close to 50 degrees. Yeah. Again, good lord, man, that will cool our environment. If all these volcanoes keep going, it will cool the environment. Speaking of Iceland and volcanoes, has anybody seen Katla on Netflix? It's about a volcano going off in Iceland. It's really weird and really dark. I had to watch the whole thing, but it wasn't. I couldn't binge watch it because it's too much for the brain to take in. Thank you, Cat. I don't know what you bounced off of, but Katla, was it Katla? Let me see if I can at least find a picture so y'all can see it. Yeah. Uh, um, let's see if I can figure out how to share this again. Let's see. Share screen. Okay. Yeah. There's how it's spelled. But it's really different. uh, And I'm hoping it was just one season and it was over. Oh no. No, it says No, I don't want a season 2, but yeah, and in a volcano. Then it's neat. I mean, yeah, it's dark, dark. It's like seriously dark. Definitely not recommended for children. I prefer, well, preferably for me, it's not something I could watch right before bed either because it's too deep. You're going, but wait, but hold on, we, uh, and then sometimes you have to back some stuff up because you miss it and whatever. But yeah, it's kind of neat. I liked it. I might have to look into that one. What did we watch? Oh my god, and it was just out there. Baby Reindeer. That was unique. Very different. It, I know I don't need to watch it again. Some of the acting, was pretty good. One gal, had me convinced, and she was a gal, and so her work was done really well. But it was just well, for one, you bounce from different timelines to, you know, so you have to kind of keep up with that. But wow, uh huh, yeah, that was yeah, very uncomfortable. It's a good thing, like it's not for children to watch at all. Mm. I was talking with the daycare mom that stepdad, wants the kids to see Adam Sandler movies because he saw them as a kid. Well, sure, there's not a lot of gore. It's just fake. It's just a movie. But there's still some concepts that kids just can't absorb, or us parents aren't ready to answer when they have questions. I mean, gosh, I go back now and growing up, I watched Mork and Mindy and I thought it was hilarious. But, I go back and watch some of it now and I'm like, oh, wow, I missed a lot. I didn't understand a lot. So, yeah, it's still funny and I still love it. But yeah, there was a lot I missed as a kid, and maybe it was the best that I just didn't understand it. So, yeah, I can just see it now. Oh, yes. And who was it? Oh, the big guy who starts out as an adult and keeps getting younger. I miss Robin Williams too. He pulled me out of a lot of funks. And yes, I would love to go to Iceland too, but I really don't want to fly right now. What are you thumping? I'm not sure what unless oh, you could be bouncing off the table legs. I'm like going, yeah. It wasn't Benjamin Button. It was but Benjamin Button was basically the same thing. Uh, oh, he's a he was a big, heavy set actor with dark hair, and I can't remember if he came from Orc or not. Mm. I I could probably I don't know, I get seasick. I don't know if I could say I get seasick. Oh, blasted. Can, let's see if I can find him. Um, it's not Dom DeLuise, but he looked a lot like him. Kind of um comedian in Mark and Mindy. Let's see if I can find out. Um, where is the cast and crew? Jonathan Winters. There we go. John, and I didn't even get that far. My brain finally picked it up. Jonathan Winters. That's who it was. Oh wow, K-Pax was good. God, I haven't seen that in ages. Yeah, exactly. Jonathan Winters played the son. Yeah, yeah, that was hilarious. When both of them put their head in the couch to sit down. Yeah, that was. I really need to put lids on some of these because I'm pretty sure this is flat. Yeah. God, I haven't seen K-Pax in ages. What did we just watch? Good Will Hunting. I'd never really seen that all the way through. So, That was pretty good. I mean, my folks got me uh, the Robin Williams album, his very first one, Wow, Reality, What a Concept, when I was 12. And there came a warning that it really wasn't meant strong language, not really meant for children. I've got the album still. Hi there. I can't quite. I'm not sure what StreamYard did to your name. Oh God, yeah, he was. Let me see if I can go to my chat. So maybe the YouTube will let me know who just said hi to me, so I can actually give them a name. No, this is how long it's been since I've opened up my YouTube, my tubes of you. Oh, pause that. Okay, Anthony. Okay, yeah, Anthony, your name came in as a bunch of rectangles on StreamYard. But hi, it's good to see you. Yeah. It who else was it? I want to watch The Name of the Rose again. I think it's on Amazon. And I had a really young his voice was an Archer. Christian Slater. Yeah. I think I could probably, now that I got older and, learn a little bit more stuff, that I could figure out, some maybe stuff I missed the first time I watched The Name of the Rose when I was like 22, maybe something like that. I don't know. There's just finding things to watch nowadays is tough. I was like, do you guys have seen the picture? Some people probably think I'm nuts. But the paintings of the Tower of Babel? How it's the older paintings, how it's like a spiral, I would have thought it would have been a ziggurat myself, but they make it into like a spiral all the way up. Yeah, that's what I'm noticing, Seventh. Yeah. I'll see if I can find it. What is it? Tower. Delete. Babel. Where's images? It's like trying to find the one that I'm thinking of. That's like okay. See if I can share that. No, not settings. I need settings. Present. Share screen. Yeah. Okay, how it had that spiral. I was watching. Now that one I can see. Quicksilver. That sounds familiar. That sounds really, really familiar. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. I can't remember what it was about, but yeah, I do. That was like what, back in the 80s? But there's another picture I'm thinking of, but it's where the levels are a little bit wider. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but I was watching, not because I really wanted to, Mickey and Friends with the 3-year-old, and they had to go up, what do they called it? Holly Mountain, where snow was, to find whoever it was. And that's the mountain had that spiral, and that my brain immediately went to the Tower of Babel, whatever. Sue, you're not alone. things just pop into my mind. For me, it's mostly songs. One day out of the blue, my brain started playing Barnum and Bailey's, what is it, circus theme song. Don't know why, but yeah. Okay. All right, Misha, that's fine. Just cool. Just send it to me. But yeah, I'm watching this and I'm telling hubby, and he's just like, "Oh no." So you never know. I wish I could find that one with Donald Duck and Warner von Braun together. I think I might have downloaded the TikTok piece with it, but I want to find the actual piece. For one, to validate it and make sure it's real. But that part of my shoulder. Start to sit up straight. I think it's my shoulder saying, "Don't slouch." When I was a kid, I had to wear one of those braces on my back so that I wouldn't slouch. Cracks me up now. They sell nice little padded ones you can get on Amazon that pulls your shoulders back so you don't slouch. When I was younger, it was just one of those little white things. I love you too. Oh, yes. Hey, Slow Mo, how's it going? But yeah, I notice things like that when I watch TV, so it's kind of hard for me to watch TV. You know, as one of the sayings of some of the people that I've been around online, they say symbolism will be their downfall, and which is fine. There's a lot of it out there. You get people, the first thing they zero in on, especially if you're in a place that's more, I guess you could say, well, one of my favorite places isn't really right or left, but one side tends to zero in on the necklace first. It's like, wow, people, do your history. Learn what it is. Glad you're here, Slow. Yeah, I'm bad at slouching these how does one put it politely? Uh my brain has a two word for them. But, the twins, let's put it lightly. The twins. If I don't stand up straight, it makes my back hurt. Yeah. I had someone asked a few years back, we would joke around, and would ask, how are the twins doing? And I said, well, I'm gonna take them to the mountains here pretty soon. And some other people in the store overheard me, and they go, "That's awesome. We put our two to work outside in the yard the other day." And I was like, "Oh, cool. That's good. Good. They need the exercise." And my brain's like going, "Oh my." And so yeah, if you don't, okay, awesome. The one thing I do like about this MacBook is that my texts come in across my screen over here. So now the phone payment has arrived, and the Amazon daughter asked me to order something, and she'd pay me when she got paid. Today's Wednesday. What is she getting? Unless she's got leftover money before payday tomorrow. I don't know. Too much to keep track of. So now once that's there, she pays me for the phone. I use the money that she sends me the phone to pay for the internet. Works out pretty good. And then I pay the phone one because there's like 4 of us on it. So I pay that all. But yeah, definitely need to stand up straight when you have those things. And that's the reason I'm on 2 different muscle relaxants. Um, Not to mention all the damage that's been done to my back working with the state. I mean, I absolutely loved it. I loved working with the mentally handicapped, the developmentally disabled, whatever they're called nowadays. I don't know, but I love doing that. But um, back in the day, 30 plus years ago, you picked them up on your own. You didn't have, if you want to get stuff done, you don't have time to go get the Hoyer lift. No, that is awesome. That is so cool and so pretty. My mother got stuck in Rome over 9/11. Um, she was there when it happened. So she had to stay an extra week before she could get home. And, I'm sure that just, was terrible for her to have to stay an extra week in Rome. Mm, yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. So you know what it's like, because sometimes it's faster to pick them up and move them than just, it's like slow. What happened to me, the first back injury was, um, a client who could stand on its own with a little bit of guidance went into a seizure, so dead weight. And then the second one, which was my own stupidity, was at a client in a wheelchair, and I went to straighten him out, and I did try to do one of these instead of facing him, because this will be a little bit faster. And so he's a bit spastic, and so that tore my shoulder blade out. The doctor said they don't know for sure because where it started, but anywhere from an inch to an inch and a half farther from my spine than it should be, and then rather be at that nice, lovely angle, it was straight up and down. Yeah. Mhm. So I worked 9 years in resource. Not only did we have the developmentally disabled, we also had the behaviors. That was a challenge. I don't think I could work in the school district now because some of the stuff that the behavior children had that had some disabilities are some of the behaviors that the average child has that it's like, yeah, unfortunately, you can't put an average student into the timeout room like we had when I was working at the school. It wasn't very big of a timeout room. They just kind of built it enough for a desk and walk around the desk. I remember looking in the doorway one time, and one of the students had one leg on each side and was going up the wall. I'm like, oh God, yeah. He was a behavior, extremely smart, but a behavior problem. And I had kids that would go and would come to me, especially one kid didn't have a lot of money at the house. So some days he would wear his brother's clothes, his older brother's clothes. And he'd get to school and realize that, well, his older brother had, say, a pocket knife or something in it. And the kid would come to me and say, tell me first thing in the morning, can you put this in your desk and I'll get it after school? Because he realized, hey, you're not supposed to have it. I'd put it in the desk. He never did any harm to anybody. He took it and he went and took it home, and he just had to share with what they had. So, oh my god, yes. I worked one-on-one for a few years with a Down syndrome, and the kid in himself was a challenge because the way he was brought up at times. Uh, but the mother, oh my. I mean, she's better now, but than she wasn't then, and the poor dad was just so beaten down, he didn't say a whole lot. After he got divorced, he would talk a lot when I'd see him at the store. But yeah, mm, God, and parents nowadays, the 13-year-old, I can understand a good reasoning why she's got him, uh, basically tracked with a cell phone, because when he goes to his dad's, if he, you know, she can find out that they're leaving to go have dinner at 10 o'clock at night when there's kids' typical bedtime is 8, or if he forgets his phone at a place, she can find it. But poor Devin, poor kid gets a message that at my phone, he'll show me his phone. I'm at grandma's house now. I'm like, I thought your mom fixed that. That was supposed to go to your mom. He goes, I know. He goes, so at school it'll tell me I'm at school. I'm like, I'm sorry. We didn't have that with our kids. It's like our kids are like, well, I worked in the school district with them, so I knew, every field trip, everything. My oldest wanted me on all the field trips, wanted me to go do things, whenever this, school, you got to come into the classroom and help do this, this, and this. My youngest is like, do you want me to help, supervise in a field trip? No, I'm fine. Okay. But he only made it to 8th grade and then didn't finish. He tested out of high school, and I'm like, why bother? He was taking online schooling, and which he really loved at first because that one first place he went to, and then they went bankrupt. But he could do all the science classes he wanted. Even one of them was nuclear physics. He thought that was fabulous. English, not his strength, not mine either. I couldn't do a dangling participle to save my life, not to mention balance an equation. I love physics. Physics was fun. Balancing a chemistry equation, no. Nah. Duh. Oh, I know. You get people. Well, you had parents, in education and in the state facilities. What are they called? Those plans. I know Crystal don't know what they're called. That they write up for the year. Is it E something? EPAs, something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, we would have, the parents would come in, especially with the school. But when you're dealing with the kids at the state, there you go, IEPs. Yeah, yeah. We had to deal with those at the state and the school. See, with the state, we had, it was just their, for a lot of them, their care workers, their case managers would come in because there was a lot of them, yeah, who parents were told, and this was just the thing to do, 50 years ago, was, put them into a facility and forget you ever had them. So we had a lot of, kids whose parents never came to see them. And it was so sad. Hey, Crafty Witch, how are you? And it was sad because it's like one of the parents, I knew who they were. And so I was just like, wow. And I knew what the profession was. And I was still like, wow. And the kid was, fairly high functioning. He could walk, um, feed himself, kind of dress himself, but I was like, how do you just forget that you have a child? It's just, I understand it was common, but nowadays, never forget when I went in to because I worked there from 90 to 94 before my back said, you're done. You are done. And I was young. So like my oldest would come in with me when I'd go to pick up my check, and I'd see my clients and, I'd go visit. And so he got used to seeing, people in wheelchairs. Well, we were on the elevator one time and he's about 4. And there's a guy in the elevator and he looks at me kind of like he's off-putting, like, you bitch. Well, hasn't your kid ever seen a person in a wheelchair before? And I was like, yeah, just not an average person in a wheelchair. He's like, oh. I said, yeah, we don't have a lot of those around here. And I learned this gonna sound odd. I learned the other day via TikTok that our belly buttons, sometimes it's connected to our bladder. I guess some way, don't, I can't remember all the details, but I'm like going, that explains why one of the clients, we would have to make sure her diaper was up real high. And the first time I ever worked with her, because I didn't know this, that they redirected uh, her, she peed out her belly button. I didn't know this, and she thought it was hilarious. As I was sitting there not knowing what to do, all I knew that her belly button was leaking, and I wasn't, I was like 23, 24. It was quite, yeah, she really couldn't speak, but she thought that was hilarious. Yeah, she couldn't, she had severe cerebral palsy, and she was really stiff, and so it's not like it she could we could roll her side to side, but sitting wasn't a thing. And so, yeah, that's just how they redirected it, so it was easy. And yeah, she just sat there and, well, basically laid there and just giggled. And I was like, oh my. And then one of the nurses had to explain to me, because I said, come in, something's wrong. She's, there's liquid coming out of her belly button. And she just had to explain to me, that she had been redirected. But now that I saw uh, the how did illustration of how your umbilicus is connected, while when you have when you're connected to the placenta. Yeah, it did freak me out. Um, Now it makes sense, and of course, back then we didn't have Google, so I just, okay, the nurse said it'd been redirected. Okay, that's fine, but now I know why it was so easy to do that. But yeah, when we had an adorable uh, little boy. I think he lasted till maybe he was 21, 22. He wasn't supposed to last through his first year. Um, he was he weighed 19 pounds, no frontal lobe, and he ended up the shape basically from sitting in a wheelchair, so he could see people. He's kind of basically formed to the shape of the wheelchair. They did physical therapy, to keep his joints and everything moving, but he was so spoiled because he was so tiny. People would pick him up and carry him like a tiny baby. And so if somebody came on, and if he was out of his wheelchair, laying in the bean bag, you could hear him. If nobody came over to fuss about him and pick him up and carry him, he'd go over there and he'd just make these sad little noises like, I'm over here, pay attention to me, come pick me up, let me be the baby that everybody thinks I am. He was so cute. He was so adorable. He's so tiny. But I kind of miss working out there. Because they all had their own distinct personalities. Um, though I my first time around, before I was considered a temp, that you get so many temporary hours, and then they lay you off for so long, and then they bring you back if they want to, and then they do this round and round. At least you get unemployment while you're off. They kept extending my uh, temporary until right before the doctor said, you're not supposed to work anymore. Then they laid me off, and then they said, they'll hire me back after, I think it's like 6 months. You have to be off 6 months, and then they'll hire you back. Well, because they said they'd hire me back, I got unemployment while I was off work with my youngest for 6 months. And then I went back to work for a year and a half. And then I was like, no, I'm going to open a licensed daycare instead. But yeah, trying to sit there and go, well, this name's good. No, I like this name. No, that name is too much like this client over here, or this one over here. And it was pretty tough. but because I always wanted to name a little girl Sarah, but not after working there. I mean, the Sarah there was ambulatory, sweet. Had some repeated some. They weren't. They're just noises. They're not words, noises. But she repeated continually, and I'm like, no, I can't do that because then I would associate my baby Sarah with the other Sarah, and yeah, that was tough. Yeah, daycare. Yeah, that was back in the days when you had to. Yeah, I was a licensed daycare, uh, in-home daycare. That was back in the days when you also had, at least in Washington State, you had to keep up with the nutrition program guidelines. So the nutrition program would pay you. So, like, if you, a lot of things had to be made from scratch. And like, if you made boxed macaroni and cheese, you had to augment it with some real cheese, make sure it's whole milk, real butter. You had to really doctor it up a lot. The cereal could only have, I think, 9 grams or less of sugar. Uh, Now the kids could put all the sugar they want on it. That was fine, but the food itself had to be 9 grams of sugar or less. So, yeah, I had a few kids, and it was, kinda got me through, being home. And then when we moved out here, uh, the first year I watched a girl whose mother was willing to drive her all the way out here. And then the second year, the one of the boys' classmates' mother said, "Well, she's worked with developmentally disabled kids. I want her watching my kid when he's in school." So then that's how I ended up in the school for 9 years. And then I did not get along with the one teacher that, I mean, she's nice enough, but I had spent so many years with ladies who were super organized. Even one who wasn't that organized, I could understand her system, so I knew where everything was. If I needed to make copies, needed to go, pass out work, do whatever. This one, no, I just couldn't take it. And even she came from the elementary school and to the middle school, which was, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I had kids complaining like, she's treating us like babies. So when they said, first they wanted to move me down to the elementary school, and I wasn't happy with that. And then they decided they're just not going to renew my contract. I was happy. That's when I went and worked at the store for a few years. And well, I really wouldn't call it work. I got to play at a grocery store for 9 years. I'd been there not even a year. My oldest was graduating high school, and he's like, "Oh, this is my last week of being a senior." And I said, "Yeah. And after that, next week is going to be your first week of being a deadbeat." I said, "You need to get a job." And lo and behold, his classmate who was homeschooled needed to quit so he could go to Perry. He did some kind of graphic design, something like that. And so Nathan, since he'd ran the school store and everything, he just slipped right into that position and worked there was it 7 years with me? So yeah, I worked with my own kid for 7 years while he did full-time school. He did school full-time and worked full-time. So when I made him a deal, you don't have any rent or anything, as long as you don't take out any student loans until you absolutely have to. So you pay for your schooling and you stay here for free. And he did. He only took out one, which was good. And that's all paid back. So before, all this fun stuff happened. Yeah, he actually, which is fine. He takes pride in paying back his own schooling. So now he's sitting pretty with the city. IT. Though he's got enough tattoo work to look like he should be working in the narcotics division. It's just like, it's a good thing you work in a basement. So yeah, this kid's got. Oh, I keep telling him, save some space. You're gonna want to celebrate something down the road or put a mark, for what you do. Save some space. No, he's just got. No, well, the door's open, but I think he's finally slowing down. He's got. I wanted to strangle him when he put one. There's a bird on his neck. I was like, no, no, please, you're a professional. No, you know. Oh yeah, he does. He's the one who also had to replace my keyboard. Not on this one, thank God. Not on the MacBook, but on my old Windows 7 laptop. My the sticky roller and keys do not go well together. I was trying to get the dirt off. I ran out of the canned air, so I thought, well, a sticky roller. The sticky roller took off some keys that just wouldn't stay back on. It's not like when you take apart your older keyboard, and the keys pop off and on, and you can clean it, and it's no big deal. He had to reinstall a whole new keyboard for that for me. So, but hi Goose, where are you going? What was not the older keys, that you can take them off and clean them, and yeah, he's a good kid. But you put those two in my car when there's just the three of us, they revert back to being 8 and 11 again, and they're too big to do that in my car because it makes my whole car shake. But yeah, he had to. When I was working at the school, we had he's still at the school. The PE teachers, Henri, jokester and everything. So he was teaching PE, and I was having copies run. So while the copies were running, instead of me staring at the machine, I went in and rearranged the letters of his keys on his keyboard. So, if you type by feel and you don't look at it, you'll type just fine. But if you look at it, it'll confuse the heck right out of you. That was fun to do. I mean, no harm, no foul, but yeah. Yeah. I like the feeling of the old keyboards, not these flat things that you don't really feel that you're typing on. I had remember when everything was ergonomic, it had the keyboard that was like this, so you're not getting carpal tunnel like this. Yeah. Oh yes, the click. I love the click. Yes, you don't get that on these. But yeah, I love the little rounded keyboard. That was fun. That worked really well for a while till it, the kids pretty much spilled stuff on it, trashed it, and all the query. I'll have to look that up. Because my brain's all over the place right now. Yeah, there's a gal who was at the uh, vascular place, and she had nails like mine, except she had them all with the little beads and everything. And I'm like going, oh no, I'd get food caught in that. No, I just couldn't. They got to be smooth. Okay. Yeah, she was with her nails, and just you could hear just tick, 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 just for me, I like the sound. I mean, oh yeah, it does. Which reminds me, it also spells typewriter. One of the reasons they did it that way was so when the guy went door to door trying to get people to, to show them how fast they can do it, you could spell typewriter right there on the top keys really fast. Oh, what was that thing we used to have to do in school? Was it something the fox? I don't. Something we had to type that basically took it. You use all the letters in the alphabet. The quick fox, something or other. Yes, the quick brown fox. That's what. Yeah, you use pretty much all the letters in the alphabet. So yeah, just so your hands could get used to it. I mean, I trained. I learned how to type on a. Let me see if I can find it. A 1930s. Um, 1930s. I'm here packing because I have my computer's on its own little ledge. Royale. Royale typewriter. Let's see if I can find it in the cup. It's in a box. I ain't getting it out. There we go. If I can get this picture to come up, and then I'll share it. An image in a new tab. There we go. Wow, that's not a very big image. Hold on. I should got a little bit bigger. But this is what I learned to type on. It's hey Big Joe, how you doing? But this is what I learned to type on. Had the ribbon, still has the ribbon. I guess you can still get ribbon. You went so far one way and so far another way, and after you just kind of go back and forth till you finally the ribbon didn't have any ink and was just, and I want to say it was actual fabric. Etsy still has them, but that's what I learned to type on. Still has its original case that it sits on. You can see this one is still in its case. It was a travel typewriter that my mom got from her dad that I acquired. So we're good there. We're good there. And so yeah, and if you type too fast, you had to slow down to type because if not, you had all your keys jumbled up in the very top. So yeah, it's just okay. But yeah, someone on TikTok had made a comment. I forget what it was about. I don't remember exactly how it went, but um I said something to him that that I said I'm not very friendly. I don't talk a lot, and I said, if you want to know what type of person I am, I said I'm a lot like Wednesday, except my old typewriter is in blood red. And I didn't hear much back after that. So, but um, yeah. So part of my brain says I enjoy looking at it too. Um, I'm such a smartass. Uh, but yeah, that typewriter was fun. I saw someone use it as like a decoration, but I don't have a. I mean, I've got an electric fireplace, but I don't have a, the stone fireplace like my aunt had with the little stone seat that I would split my head open on every time. Um, I would they had put it like on a corner of the fireplace with some like dried flowers. Come on, it looked really cool. It looked really neat. And I'm thinking that's great. Mine still works. So yeah, it's definitely not that kind of channel here. No, not in the least. Not to mention, I'm ancient. Oofta. What is it? In less than yeah, in about 3 months, I turned 58. Yeah. There's a lot of things we want in life. We don't always get them. Um, yeah, I'm as old as I'm 2 days older than the Star Trek pilot, and I never forget what year it is for the Super Bowl because that's the age I turned that year. Sure. Uh, um, uh, so that's easy for me. I just, it's like, oh, everybody's like, oh, what Super Bowl is this? What Super Bowl is this? And I'm like going, yeah, well, next year's gonna be Super Bowl 59 because that's how old I'm gonna be. Yeah. Um, thank you, Sunrise. It's like people tell me that, and I said, I said, thank you. I said, that's my parents' fault, though. I had nothing to do with this. This is what happens when predominantly you have a Native American and a Viking. This is what you get. Throw in a little sub-Saharan African. Yeah. I'm getting better with the eyebrows. I got a thinner, a thinner little brush, and now whatever I was ordering from Amazon needed a substitution. So I picked another one that came out with dark brown in it. It's a cream, and I kind of like that better than the powder. Not to mention I don't have powder falling down on my cheeks and um or giving my granddaughter a hug. These are fake. These are here. Let me see. Where's the box? I don't have. I don't know if I can open this box or not. I get them off of Etsy. I don't have a. No, once ain't gonna hurt. My good scissors are in a box in the drawer. But these are supposed to be for fabric only. So, but I get them off of Etsy. And, you can see it with the shine. There. Might be a little bit better. Oh, mine are so thin and bendy and tear so easy. But they're, mine are really bendy. But they're clear. Oh, the light's not going to help any. And they're thin where they need to be back here, but they're strong at the end. So when I run it against the countertop or trying to put a key into the door, I don't bend this, But yeah, I had some I really liked, and then for some stupid reason, Echo Basket stopped making them. So, and then I found these I'm never going to get this back in the plastic. Who am I kidding? I'll at least put it back in the plastic bag so I know I haven't used these. So I keep buying these. And they're like $15 for 504 pieces and 10 size. Evidently, there's doubles, 4s, and 5s. And because in case whatever company decides they're going to stop making it, I'll have enough time. Oh, which ones did you order? I know there's one I ordered. I don't like it from Amazon because it's way too soft. They bend and then they tear. So, yeah, when I take these things off, the edges will catch or tear or, yeah. Problem is sometimes I do something I shouldn't. I use Loctite gel glue. And so I try not to use too much. So if I hit something, they'll break off. One time I put too much on my pinky, and I caught my pinky, and I lifted my pinky up off the nail bed. Not a whole lot, but enough to where when I took it off, you could see it. And then last summer, I tripped and fell because I have like a small kind of little garden wall. Well, one foot went up, the other foot did not go up as far as it needed to. So I caught it and I fell and put my hands out to fall, brace myself when I fall. And the only part of me that got hurt were these two fingers because they went into the grass, you know, like a pitchfork, basically. And I jammed the ever living snot out of this finger. Oh my God. It's, yeah. Yeah, this one's still working on growing out. And this one actually took the glue off. I took the corner of it right off of the nail bed, but it's almost back to where it should be. But yeah, it was black and blue. I had to take my ring off as soon as I could because it was starting to swell. It still hurts. It still hurts. Arthritis is going to set in there really good. But yeah, seems like we had an exciting visitor for a little while. I mean, yeah, I can't say that I blame him. I like to look at my own too, but someone else. I remember growing up, someone would say something. Oh God. Oh, awesome. AS Blind. Thank you, Alfonso. Wait a minute. She did is that you? She did a short about? I need to go back and watch it. So much was going on. Yeah. No, he wasn't smooth at all. But I'm such a smart ass that I had a kid when I was in high school. We did VICA. It's vocational, whatever it was. It's kind of like DECA was. And I hung around with mostly guys, and because there's less drama. And so we're all lining up because I was in nurse's aid class, so that's a vocational class, and they were automotive. And yeah, I think I'm subscribed to you. If not, I will go back and will be. But yeah, one of them, because we had to do a presentation at a state function, and the automotive teacher was like, "Okay, everybody, we got to be arm's length away." And one of the guys goes, "Well, it's a good thing we're not distance away." I said, "Oh yeah, because if it is, I'd have to be right up next to you." All the other guys just busted up laughing. I slammed him good. I mean, he was just like, "Oh, that's me. I'm quick." Well, one guy said something. One of my classmates. I forget what he said. He made some smart ass comment, and I went, "Really?" Yeah, yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, That's not a. You did fabulous. Um, you did great. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those either. Um, that's one reason I just definitely deleted that comment. Um, but I forget what he said. He said something about meeting in the back of the school. I said, "Really? Name the time. I'll be there." Because I knew that wasn't ever going to happen. But the fact that he thought he was being a smartass, and I was like, I was right there on top of it. I'm like, yeah, nope, nope, nope. I'm gonna shut you down, and I'm gonna make everybody laugh at the same time. It's like I had a guy when I worked a couple times when I worked at the state. I made the mistake of saying, we're talking about seafood, you know, we're talking different types of seafood, and well, without thinking, my brain went, well, because to make it shorter, instead of saying like crab, lobster, fish, calamari, I just went, well, I eat anything that swims. And the one I worked with, he goes, I swim. And the two other girls there, because there's just four of us there, And without thinking about it, and I didn't miss a beat, I went, "I don't eat minnow." And the 2 girls were like, "Ooh, ooh." Yeah, I'm pretty fast. I'm pretty fast on the draw. It, it's like, Circle K. It's been over a month now. I had cash. I was getting my because I needed to break a 20 so that we could put it in to get there's a place that sells scrap pieces of wood you can put in your fire pits or whatever. Um, makes great kindling. Um, he's like, "Cash, cash makes the world go around." I said, "Yep." I said, "And also makes strippers happy." And the whole place got quiet for a split second. And he goes, "Did I hear you?" I said, "Yes, you did." He's like, "Can I use that?" I said, "Feel free." So that other gal behind the counter was busting up laughing. Oh boy. The 5-year-olds get attached quickly. They get attached quickly. I used to uh, watch my dad's. Well, luckily the dogs are gone now. 2 dogs because the cats aren't won't have other dogs in the house. Um, but we were out in the yard with them, so they could go play with the other bigger dogs and whatnot. And I look up, and Dad had 2 Shih Tzus, and I look up, and there's these 2 hawks circling. Oh, that's cool, Alfonso. Oh, I'm sure there is now. I'm sure you can find it. There's gotta be. I might find it at a print shop, though. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's in a they get I always want whenever I was younger and I had an animal, I always wanted to keep it. My parents were like, "No, put it outside." But, yeah, I had to tell the boys, I said, "Get the dogs in." I do not wanna have to explain to your grandpa that the hawks ate his dogs because they kept circling lower and lower and lower. I'm like, "Get him in," you know? But it's kids and small animals are fun. My niece was not my niece, my granddaughter was worried that she saw an ant, just a little tiny, tiny ant in the yard, and she says, "It's gonna bite." I said, "Honey, these ants don't bite." 'Cause, eh, um, 'cause the ones in the mountains, the ones you see that, they all travel together or have those big, huge mounds, they will bite, and it hurts, and, so I tell her to be careful with it. Oh, yeah, I bet. They'll think they're delicious. Um, yeah, so once you realize that those little tiny little sugar ants that you see in your yard aren't gonna bite you, but I'll have to teach her later on when we get big to the woods, those big carpenter ants will bite, and they do hold the phosphorus, and it does hurt. I also learned if you're gonna eat those, the big ones, take their head off first because of the phosphorus. I guess it does something to your mouth. I don't I learned this from an exterminator. Not that I plan on eating ants, but, I don't plan on eating any bugs. Mm-mm. Not to mention, our bodies cannot digest the ectoskeletons. The only animals who can are birds. For us, it's just a road to cancer. It's not the reason I won't eat bugs. I mean, my son's had a couple of times in Vegas scorpions in his shot glass. I'm like, yeah, no, no, we're good. You can do that. I'm not going to do it. Oh, so she's wanting. Oh, well, just let her know that it comes to visit now and then. I had to tell I had a Maine Coon, and before I knew what it was, what you did to the animal, because I didn't know at the time, we had her declawed. because it doesn't just take the nail off, it goes to the knuckle. And so, but she put holes in our waterbed because she'd dig down the side. And um, even declawed, she brought in a bird. The bird was still alive. And I got it and had it on my finger. And I remember showing it to my husband, who was working graveyard at the time. And it was stunned on my finger. And I said, look what Sable caught. Look what Sable caught. And he halfway wakes up and goes, get that out of the house before it flies. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. So, you know, got it out of the house. My oldest was, thought it was just so neat that he's gonna have his own bird, and I'm like, no, honey, we gotta just take care of it for a little while. And so we got it, threw it up in the air to see if it would fly, and it took off. Oh my, he was devastated. That was his birdie. And it was just a little finch, I think, or a sparrow. I think it was one of those little brown ones that come to your bird feeder every year. And so what I did was I put bird food on the edge, on the windowsill outside, because there's like a brick edge. And I put bird food on that. And I would tell him every time a brown bird came that looked just like that bird that flew off, I said, look, your little birdie came back to visit you. And so he thought that was the neatest thing. And then after about a week, he forgot about it. But that kept him happy, thinking that bird came back to visit. But yeah, I mean, I should remind him of that. He's probably forgotten. But he's the one who has the dog that my cat does not like, and the dog that my cat was afraid of that put me in the hospital for 3 nights. Oh, high energetic dogs. Yeah. My favorite dog was, I had a lab rot mix, a black lab rot mix, and it had the great dog, stupider than all get up though. And all black, had the fringe tail, like if you let a Rottweiler keep its tail, have if it thought at 100 and some pounds it was a lap dog, so I would have to sit on the floor so that he could sit on my lap. Or thought he was at 100 and some pounds, he would squeeze into the bed between me and Keith on Sunday mornings, and then slowly go like this to, pretty soon he's the only one left on the bed. But he was a great dog. Oh man. I think it's mine would he'd be too busy looking at what you're saying to him and turn around and run right into the wall or the cabinet, or a lot better. A lot better. Got out and I mowed, he ran the weed whacker and took care of the yard, and then sat out there while I burned cardboard. Oh yeah. They say labs don't grow up till they're at least 5. And then you lose them at about 11. My my lab hit, what did he run into? He was too busy looking at me, yelling at him because I forget what he did. He's chewing up something. He's too busy looking at me, ran into my bird bath and tipped it over and broke it. And then I started yelling and he just dropped to the ground like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. But he was a, great dog. He was a wonderful dog. So if I ever break down and get another dog, which I don't know, it's too hard. Dogs are hard to lose. Cats, hard, just not as hard. They're so independent. They want to do their own thing, Because my golden was 16 and a half. Moose lasted 11. First English Springer Spaniel was 14. We only had her for a few years. We thought she was younger than she was. And then my second English Springer Spaniel, she was 15 and a half. And so, but it's too painful. I got the second Springer and the Golden in the backyard. And then, oh yeah, mine, my Golden, he asked him if he needed to go potty, but he didn't want to go outside because he for some reason underneath the dining room table. Where's my phone? Oh, okay. But yeah, he would sit there and close his eyes like he's sleeping, and yeah, I have to wind this up. Keith just texted me and said, Goose, that lovely little gray long-haired cat, has a diarrhea issue. So she ate something she shouldn't have outside, and so yeah, I gotta go, guys. I'll be back tomorrow, though. You know, if you want, I can fill you in with what's happened with Goose tomorrow. I really doubt it, but yeah. So I gotta go and help clean that up before the 8-year-old gets here and wants to hold her and pick her up and carry her. And I have shit everywhere. So, guys, I do have to get going. So, yeah, they're just, labs just are that way. So, all right. For Paola, all of my love, Miss Dragon. Now, let's see if I can, and now my brain, even though I'm not in the same room, I can smell cat shit. My brain smells cat shit now. So, yeah. I shall see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully without the extra side entertainment. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for being part of Miss Dragon's menagerie. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All my love, Miss Dragon.